Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Hybrid Now. Still haven't gotten the camera angle the way that I want it, but this will suffice, I guess. Just kind of look at my head over the steering wheel. So I wanted to talk about a few things that I love about the new Toyota Prius. If you're not familiar with the channel, or maybe if you're not familiar with the Prius at all, for 2023, Toyota redid the whole thing. They made it cool. And that is, I guess, the first thing that drew me. The biggest thing that I liked about this car from the beginning is what it looks like. It's amazing to me what Toyota did with the design. You know, I've mentioned in previous videos, I was a Toyota Prius detractor. Made fun of the car myself on my other channels. But now, I love it. It's probably one of my top 5 favorite cars ever. My list keeps changing as I experience new cars, but this one is awesome. I love the way that it looks. It's low, it's sleek, the lines, the lighting, everything on it is just awesome. Kudos to whoever designed this at Toyota, because they, or the team, I guess, did an awesome job with it. They actually brought the car into a whole different class, or group of people, I should say, that actually like cars like this, including myself. Next up is the technology inside. I mean, you know, we have this new screen sitting right in front of the steering wheel. And by the way, some of the reviewers out there have said that you can't see the gauge cluster because of the steering wheel. Well, you have to adjust the steering wheel to get it to where you can see. It's not that big of a deal. I'm 5'9", normal proportioned, I think. So I haven't had any issue with it. I don't think it's a problem. I think a lot of these people needed to nitpick, and they certainly were with that gauge cluster. I love everything that's in it. It's got all kinds of information and settings and stuff. It's just awesome. The infotainment system, the thing that you're behind right now, love it. I actually went with the bigger 12.9, whatever it is, size system, and I'm glad that I did. Originally, I was going to get the XLE trim, couldn't get it, switched to the Limited, and I am very happy. Love it. Speaking of technology, the digital rear view mirror. That thing is too cool. I've never had one before. Very easy to operate. You just flick the little thing underneath what used to be the dimmer, and it becomes a digital mirror. You can see behind you, around you, to some extent. Nice, clean, clear, crisp picture or video. That's what it really is. It's really like a live video of what's behind the car. Some people, again, these reviewers, have talked about blind spots. All cars, all vehicles have blind spots. This thing alleviates that. You can see everything. Comfort, let's talk about that. You know, one concern that I had, honestly, was whether or not I'd be comfortable in the car because it sits lower. Now, it sits lower particularly for me because I come from trucks. I've got a Toyota Tacoma, I've got a Jeep Gladiator, 2 other channels for those, by the way, Rob Motive and Rob Motive JT. Check those out if you're interested in small or mid-sized trucks. But I really haven't noticed too much. Matter of fact, there was one thing I'll tell you, and it's my fault. When I first got the car, it has a feature where when you open the door or take the seatbelt off, I believe, the driver's seat will go all the way back or midway back or not back at all, depending on where you set it. In my car, it was set to go all the way back. So the first time that I got in, I shut the door, put my seatbelt on. I believe it is triggered by the seatbelt. And the seat started to move forward. I had no idea it had that. Pretty wild. But after that, it got to be a little annoying because it went all the way back, and it made it more difficult to get in and out of the door because I was kind of getting behind the side pillar here. Well, I discovered you can change that. You can set it to midway or not to do anything at all. I went with the not to do anything at all, and it's perfectly comfortable. Ride quality. You know, that's another thing that I was a bit concerned about. Is it going to feel small, carish? Am I going to feel everything in the road? Not at all. It is very, very smooth. It's not Lexus or Cadillac smooth, but nonetheless, much smoother than a truck for sure, which you would think it would be anyway, right? Love it. Great setup as far as suspension goes. Nice, smooth ride. How about handling? You know, another thing that actually has been praised by a lot of these reviewers, I think it handles really, really well. Takes the curves nicely, nice and smooth. It has different modes, which goes back to technology. You can actually go to a sport mode, which kind of changes things a little bit for more aggressive driving, I guess. And yes, we still are talking about a Prius. Next up, we have to talk about power. My biggest fear in going with the Prius is that it would be gutless. Even though in the reviews that I watched and read, everybody said that it had decent power, that it's got a huge improvement over what the previous Prius had. Gotta say, those folks were spot on. This car goes. Now, it's not a drag car, it's not a race car, but this particular one with the all-wheel drive will do 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. This is a Prius. What I'd really like to see Toyota do is put out maybe a sport version of this body style, maybe even the Prius, who knows, why not? Jack up the power a little bit, I think it would be awesome. Give us a, I don't know, 6-second flat or maybe sub 6 second 0 to 60 car. I think it would be pretty cool. I think they have the perfect skeleton, the perfect framework to do that because this car is so sexy. I love it. The last thing that I'll talk about is fuel economy because honestly, I think a big part of the Prius crowd out there is concerned with fuel economy and environmental concerns, emissions, things like that. You get all the things that I mentioned with the Prius and the fuel economy and the more environmentally friendly ride. I'm getting right now 38.6 miles per gallon. Now, that's just a running average of my trip. When I get home and I shut the vehicle down, it tells me what my actual trip was, as opposed to the average of all of them combined. I'm getting close to 50 miles a gallon already. And I just got it. It's brand new. I've got 178 miles on it. Awesome. Won't have to visit the gas station as much. That's cool. I'm not a fan of spending any more money than I have to, so if I can spend less money on gas, why not? And let's be honest, or I'll be honest, I did not get this car because of its fuel efficiency or eco-friendly characteristics. Nothing wrong with any of that. I'm all for it. But that was not my main motivation. My main motivation was the looks of it, the performance of it, the styling, which goes along with looks, and all of the new technology in it. I also wanted to experience a hybrid vehicle for the first time. This is the first hybrid vehicle I've ever owned. Gotta say, I give it an A+. Toyota did an awesome job. Anyway, leave a comment. If you've just gotten one of these, what do you think of it? Are you impressed, or is it not everything you expected it to be? I'd be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. Stay safe out there. Bye.